Yes, good morning again. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Yeah, I'm doing another live stream. But yeah, my phone, my iPad just ran out of juice again. Uh, I try to give a recap what I was talking about. So I'm pretty sure it's gonna probably happen again. So I'm just doing a piggyback from the video and just doing a new live stream. I apologize for that, people. Yeah, so brother, it's awful. Yes, yes. Good morning, people. Yes, this is Spirit Journey. I was just doing a live stream, but the device conked out a second time, so I'm forced to do a new live stream. So I wrote on it, Reminiscent Days continuation. It's really continuation on the original one. Um, I talked about a little bit about my job. Yeah, today is Wednesday. As you see, I got a new phone. I mean, new clock. I love it. See that? It's Wednesday, so I always know what time. What day is it? Yes, Wednesday, June 28th, 2023. The time is now 6:12 a.m. in the morning. Yeah, now my iPad. Yeah, I was just talking about my old job. So now look at that. See, now my iPad is charging back up. It's not. It's just at 1%. Yeah, so I have to um, disconnect the live stream from the original because it sometimes it doesn't shut itself off, so it's like in limbo. The stream is still there, but yeah. So let me just put the password in. See here. So I gotta press that. Oops. I'm sorry. Oh, brother. Yeah, I'm a real person. Sorry about that. So yeah, so you see it's YouTube. So I have to let it go on. And so what I have to do, okay. So I have to press that.
Hey guys, Toby Mathis here with Anderson Business Advisors, and I want to invite you to our tax and asset protection workshop.
Sorry.
They're absolutely free, but
Hey guys, it's Judy from Nutrition.
Oh, these commercials. Okay, so see the live. Yeah, let's see if it's still on in limbo. See that? See, it's still, yeah, so I'm just going to end it. See that? The stream got interrupted, and I'm only at 1%, so I'm just going to end it. Oops. Oops, I hope I did it right. Let me see, did I do it right? Hope I did. I just want to make, yeah, okay. So it ended it. Okay. I'm sorry about that. Yeah, well, yeah, so I was doing a video and I was talking about my old job. And yeah, my very first job of 43 years ago, it's approaching 43 years. I started a job in August 1980. I was just explaining the social environment of the day. Yeah, it was some years after all, the Civil Rights Act and everything. Um, yeah, it was hard. Yeah, John Lennon gets assassinated right after my 18th birthday. I forget what year. I mean, what day? It was either this December 7th or the 8th. It was a weekend. Oh, it was horrible. Yeah, I was just getting into his music, and I was explaining background in the civil rights movement allowed uh, women, and really they mean white women, but it opened the door for women in general, but in particular white women in the job market and people of color. And I live in New York City, and back in those days, the largest minority group were Black Americans. But yeah, you had a lot of other groups. You had Hispanics from Puerto Rico, a lot of Puerto Ricans back then, but they lived in different areas. Um, what else? Um, it wasn't it really something. It's something back then. It wasn't. It was just like the company where I worked for, the city of New York, um, and then okay, you had whites that were in. You usually they were supervisors, and everybody else were blacks. You had, yeah, it was a large black population back then. Back then, 43 years ago, New York City had tons of black people, black Americans. Um, they were the second largest ethnic group. Now, we're no longer the second largest. Um, I think actually now Hispanics are the largest ethnic group. But back then, it was Puerto Ricans were the largest Hispanic group. Um, and then now I think Dominicans are the largest ethnic group in New York City. But now in New York City we have a large busing in of people south of the border. They're being literally being bussed in, families, large families. So everything's changing quickly. I don't know where any of the whites went. That I can't figure out. Um, the demographics changed a lot, and the company that I worked for, um, I worked for the city, um, and yeah, the company, as I mentioned in the first part of this stream, that I had to that that ended because my batteries died on my iPad. But either way, it was downtown Manhattan on Park Avenue South. I was there for 3 days, and then they were packing because we were moving back to, back, I mean, not back, but we were moving to a new location right in the heart of the village. And the village was a place I discovered was very, very so-called liberal. Uh, it was a it was a safe place for me as a young black woman to hang out at. I was pretty much a loner. Um, but I loved the village. There was always something going on, a lot of shopping, a lot of window shopping, which I love to do. I like walking on Sixth Avenue. Um, Broadway also was interesting, Broadway downtown. Um, and I was relatively safe to do so. Yeah, the company that I worked for was working for the city of New York, and I was in a department, the correspondence department, as I mentioned, and I work with all ladies, and the oldest one, the manager, I liked them all. I liked her, and as she mentioned, I had wolfed down this pizza. Oh, I had a lunch break, but I didn't have time to eat my pizza. So when I raced back to my job because I didn't want to be late because you have to clock in. Back then you had to clock in, and because you didn't want to be late. And I sat at my desk, and she sees I'm trying to wolf down my pizza. She says, "Look." She walks up to me. I had utmost respect for her. Uh, she says, "Look, finish your pizza, but I'm letting you know, if you were at a real job, you couldn't do this." Yeah, that's what she said. All respect for her. Yeah, I admired her. She was a strong woman. Um, I had utmost respect for her. Again, I was green as green could be. This was my first job. I didn't, yeah, when you, at least back in those days, you're not, you're just told, I was just told, report to this place, this is your job. Um, and that was it. No explanation. I didn't know I didn't know anything about it. I got it. The family friend's niece had the power to hire and put my name on the list. And I started working for the city. And all types of characters work at the city, a lot of women. Again, it was just a couple of years after the Civil Rights Act and all that. I don't know exactly what year the Civil Rights thing was, when the date it started. But all that, the drama of the 1970s, the Vietnam War ended. What was that? Ended around 1975 and 1976. So it was just a couple of years. So people are just getting back in the flow of things. Um, you had a lot of blacks that worked for the city. Yeah, in New York City, blacks work for, black people work for the city. And when you walk in a black community back then, um, it would say, "Hey, did you read the Chief?" The magazine, a newspaper called the Chief, and I forget how much it cost. It could have been $1 or something like that. Or maybe it was 35 cents. Um, but back then, things are relative to cost. Everybody, the minimum wage I think was $2. And I remember, the job that I had for the city was a union job. It was all union. And you got paid $7 an hour. So I thought I was rich. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I thought I was rich. I said, wow. Because I only, because I was living with my folks. I was 17 years old. First job outside of the home. And yeah, I started the job in August 1980, and then I went to start college in September. So everything was very close proximity, and it was in Manhattan. And I'm a Queens girl. It's one of the five boroughs: Manhattan, Queens, Brooklyn, Staten Island, and Bronx. I know you. I didn't say the Bronx. I wanted to, but it's Bronx. Um, And so when I got into Manhattan, Manhattan is the heart of New York City. It's surrounded by the other counties slash boroughs. It was a fun place, and that's where I live now. I live right in Manhattan. I love it. It's gone down a lot, but I still love New York City, the heart of the city, and people had a yeah people we commuted to the city. We have trains and buses, and yeah, the place that I worked was downtown. In the village area, and so you had a lot of people. People got jobs. They wanted to live close enough to work. So a lot of people from Brooklyn, a lot of blacks, most black Americans, they live in Brooklyn, not Harlem, not Manhattan. Most of us live in Brooklyn and commute. And since it was downtown Manhattan, and downtown Manhattan is closer to Brooklyn than Queens. So a lot of the people that I work with all lived in Brooklyn, and I would commute from Queens. It took a long time too. It took a long time. And what I was going to say about the Chief magazine. It was a newspaper, not magazine. It was a newspaper, and it was for civil servants exams. It would talk about, I guess, the different politics, different things that are happening in the city of New York, and want ads, and it advised, what jobs, what civil service exams are coming up, and then black folk used to carry the chief under their arm, and they say, "Hey, did you get the chief? Hey, you're going to take the such and such exam." This is what the culture was back then in 1980, in the 1970s. People would buy that newspaper and look in the want ads in this section for what civil service exams, and there were books that you could study from and pass through. Like you always hear about the fireman exam or the police, especially the police or corrections. And back then, they didn't really have a lot of black cops too. They didn't. They really didn't. With the police officers in New York City, they would say, "Oh, okay, you passed the exam. the written exam, but you didn't pass the psychological. And that's what it was. That's how they discriminated. So you found in New York City an overabundance of blacks in one section, one type of job or industry working for the city. Yeah, it was still segregated, socially segregated, and department segregated. Um, yeah, I worked in they had me work in the correspondence department, and it was a blend. It's all women, okay? See how things are socially segregated. It was all female department, and then I was moved to, okay, wait. Yeah, I was moved. They moved me because I see now. I talked about this before, but I was moved. I never had a run-in with anybody. I was very quiet, but they had introduced a I think it was in his 40-something-year-old Jamaican immigrant. He was real tall and skinny, and they didn't. I think they didn't like when he stood. He was. I mean, he was talking to everybody, but he stood by my desk, and they didn't like that, and so they moved me. There was no warning. It's just one day they said, "Oh, you have to report to the such and such department," and I did, and so now I have a new boss. I was in the legal department, and she was spooky. Wow. Yeah, my life growing up, it was hard because I come from a very male-dominated household, and it was nice to be able to talk to other women, adult women, and you learn from them, you know. Um, but I guess I'm going to I see that being a young female, slim, I was very skinny, but slim, and a brown skin, it's caramel. um, it intimidated other women, evidently, and even these 40, 50-year-old women. They wanted the guy all for themselves, and so they let me go, and they transferred me out. Brother, now this phone is acting up and saying that I'm losing batteries. This is something else. Let me, brother, this is ridiculous. 20%. Yes, sometimes it doesn't want me to talk about what I'm talking about. It was like I'm 50%. I'm usually good at that, but now it's jumped to 20%. So let me hurry. So with the dream now, yeah. So I just wanted to give back up and give an understanding with this new live stream because of it disconnected, so I had to restart the video all over again. So I wanted to give a context to the job and everything, the social politics. I was young and in the all-female department, and then we get a guy, and they didn't like the guy talking to me, and so they moved me over to um, the all men. Yeah, it was a law department, and it consisted of these elderly Jewish men, and the supervisor was a female, manager was a female, also a Jewish woman. But actually, um, this yes, hello viewer. Sorry, the device disconnected again. So, and now this phone is acting up and may disconnect shortly also. So let me hurry. I apologize. Yeah. So my new boss was a woman. And I found out she recently passed away. Yeah, she was a little older than my mother. Yeah, and she died just a couple of years ago. I looked up her name on the internet, and she's buried in New Jersey. Well, this woman was a woman from hell. Yes, God is good. Yes. Hello, go on. Yes, God is good. Yes, all the time. So, yeah, this is a very reminiscent video back, yeah, 43 years ago. Man, so many things, social things have changed, but it all is all planned. Everything is planned. Everything is socially constructed. Even back then, where you can work, where you can't work, what type of bosses. Yeah, this boss I had, uh, I believe was a what do you call it? A transgender. Yeah, it was a man. I believe it was a man dressed as a woman. And the person did have children because I remember she would get a phone call and she'd be talking to a kid. She was very loving to a kid. She loved her children. Um, yeah, she looked like the. You ever see the movie Tootsie with Hoffman, that the actor? Yeah, and or Miss Doubtfire. That was a man. You know, that was a male actor dressed as a woman, and that's what she looked like. She wore this thick cake makeup, really ghoulish looking, and she was frightening. She was very, yes. Hold on, yeah. The person frightened me, and I was I was very timid. By this time I must have turned 18, and it's the first time I'm seeing this type of behavior. You know, what looked like that. And she spoke. I was very timid. She was very. She had a man's voice, looked like a man. She wore nice clothes, nails done and everything. I remember she had the we call liver spots all over. Um, and I remember one time she said, "Oh, turn around." She wanted me to look at my body. She says, "Oh, turn around, turn around. I have the outfit for you. And I was scared. I was scared of her. And she would talk about things like sexual things to the lawyers. Yeah, they were all Jewish. All the lawyers were elderly Jewish men. They were retirees, but they had them do the legal aspect of the company, to get to regroup money. And I was there to gather data for them. That was my job. I would do research and getting information to hand to the lawyers. All the like when I started, all the support staff were all blacks, American blacks. There was three black ladies. One of them was a little older. She could have been a little older than me, and all the others like in their 40s. Yeah, yeah. I still remember one of their names, and she was a what you call a bisexual. She said, and here I'm just a young kid, and she's in her 40s, and she's sexually um, what do you call it? Trying to seduce me to go on a rooftop with her. Yeah, she slipped me a note that she's bi. I didn't know what all that stuff was. Bisexual, I'm bi, and about a rooftop. And so I talked to my brother about it, my elder brother. And it's, oh, she sounds like a the L word. Like, and people, no offense, don't want to insult anybody. Your orientation is your business, okay? But I'm just 17, just turned 18, and an adult woman who's in her 40s, a married woman with a child, a 6-year-old child, is asking me to go on a rooftop. That is illegal. But I'm just saying, just giving background information. So I have that. She told me later on about that. Not the first day I was there, but she was very aggressive with me. She was a dark-skinned black woman from Virginia, and she was very, again, this is 1980, and maybe this time now is 81 because I started there um, in August of 1980. So maybe not. This is early 81. Um, and she's really angry. She did cocaine too. She asked me for my nail file. And, oh, could I borrow your nail file? And she took out this powder, white powder, and she started snorting it. Oh my, yeah, I was really, you think I'm tight now. I was one of those really prude young girls, very judgmental. And she laughed her head off. He had something, she wiped it on my hand, her cocaine. Not on my arm, my arm. I thought she was disgusting. Yeah. So she would have these mood swings because of her drug, later to find out her drug habit. Yeah, I was I was who I was, and she was what she was. I didn't like her lifestyle. She didn't like my life. She was trying to corrupt me and to hate all white people. Again, this is 1980 after the Civil Rights Act and all that. She was in her 40s, and so she's old enough to live through the riots. She's from the South, and all that. So everything is relative in those days. Because you had segregation, and you had a lot of blacks living in the South, and they moved up north to flee from Jim Crow and all that stuff, and they wanted to start a new life. And here she's a dark-skinned black woman working with a whole bunch of Jewish men, elderly Jewish men, and having a boss, a manager, who a Jewish woman, but it most likely was a man pretending to be a woman. And I had a dream about her. And that's what this video is about. Yeah, I know I long-winded, but I just wanted to give a background information. Again, I'm a 17, 18-year-old. First job was to enter college in September of 1980, you know. So everything was new to me. And I used to have nightmares, about this job. But I had the nightmares later on in life. And then I had, again, this morning, I woke up to a dream about this job. But this was different. This one had a more positive end to it. Well, this boss that I had that looked just like Tootsie, you know, the man who dressed as the woman. That's what she looked like. And we had a falling out. Well, I didn't hold it person. I mean, I left the job after 2 years in 1982, December of 82, to go away to college. I always wanted to go away to college, and I'm gonna plug this thing because I have a feeling it's gonna do something. Okay, I just plugged it in, so hopefully this thing will charge it. Yeah, so I always wanted to go away to school, college. I wanted to get away from home. And so at 17, I had to listen to my parents. They said, you can't go away, because I had gotten accepted. And my father said, no, you're not going anywhere. He just wanted to control me. It's just what it was. Um, but 2 years later, I had the courage. I said, I'm going away. So I told my job that I was to, going away for college, and I gave a going away party for myself, in my department. So I bought cake and ice cream, and my boss, that man woman, was there. All of us. And again, this is a legal department, and my boss, I had a full, I had a my boss never forgave me. Again, I was afraid of her because she, a Jewish woman, and she would say racial slurs about black people, and I didn't like that. Yeah, she was horrible, horrible, but she thought it was okay. Again, she's in the legal department saying slurs about black people. I didn't like her, and I didn't like her sexual things she would talk about. Yeah, I was real old fashioned. You don't say things. I was very stuck up. I'm being real. I was what we would be considered a little stuck up. Um, but I'm conservative at heart. I really am. To each his own. But don't shove it in my face. That's all I'm saying. Don't shove it and again, in front of a young person. Some things you keep behind closed doors. That's just how I am. But anyway, um, she had what happened? Yes, I was afraid of her, and I had wanted to get a day off or something because I had to do something, and I was afraid to approach my super manager. So I went to my man. Oh, it was a no-no what I did, but I did I I was just afraid to talk to my boss. So I talked to my boss's boss. I said, hey, could I take the, X, Y, and Z? He said, sure. And my boss found out about it and never forgave me. yeah, I was just afraid. I was a very fearful person. And I did the royal no-no when you go over your boss's head. It was a simple request, but still, I went over my boss's head. And this was a control freak person. And she never forgave me. And so so she didn't want me back. So, I never had a run in with her after that. I never a run in. We never had a verbal altercation. But this particular individual never forgets. And she was a sneaky woman. But she had me, well, I was given the little party. I bought cake and ice cream and told her, going away for school. Um, and so we're all in the cafeteria eating the food. And this boss comes in. So she says, "Oh, so why don't you say what you feel about me? And come on, come on." And then she says, "Go ahead, go ahead. Say anything to me. Tell me off. Tell me off. Blah blah blah." And she's yelling at me in front of everybody. I didn't have that. I mean, I didn't like her as a person, but I was always respectful to her. And she's badgering me in front of everybody. Go ahead. This is your last chance. This is your last chance. So I called her the B word. I did. And everybody went, oh, like that. They were shocked. But that's what she wanted me to say. So I said it. I said what she wanted me to say. And she said, all right, now, so you're not going to work here ever again. I'm going to see to that. No, isn't that um, entrapment? I mean, I'm not a lawyer, but what she did was illegal. And she's telling me I can say anything. And she's harassing me and doing all that. So that's what happened. And then she walked away. So I continued the party. We were just having cake. Everything was pleasant. And so I go away to school. And then I came back after one semester. Well, I was able to go back there the summer of '83, but just for the summer. And I looked for another job. I just didn't find it. I could have gone to the union because now, I was a full member of the union. I was there for 2 years. But either way, life happens. And I wanted something new. This job, you had people do cocaine in front of you, alcoholism. Yeah, it was horrible work environment. I didn't like it, and I knew I wanted better for myself. But I would on occasion get these nightmares about the job. I was always like running around looking for something. Well, this morning I get my job. I had the dream about this job, but this was a little positive. Yeah, I found out that that particular boss had recently passed away, maybe 4 years ago. Yeah, she was actually older than my mother. Yeah, so she back in 40, not back in '83, she might have been maybe 54 years old at the time. This lady, man lady. Um, but the dream of I was in her office. I was just coming in, and I said, "Hey, how you doing?" And it was that lady, my old boss. I'm not going to give her name, but I was actually happy to see her, and she was seated at a chair. And I mean, she was very white, very pale and very white, and she was heavy. And she didn't want to look at me. She looked mean and angry. Um, and I started to work. I said, "Oh, okay." Like I was just starting, like as if you just left the room and you come back and you continue your working, your assignment, and that's what was happening. I said, "Hey, it's good to. Hey, how you doing?" And I was sincere. And then I turned around and I saw other coworkers, the people from 43 years. Yeah, I saw the heavyset black lady. Oh no, no, there was a no, wrong lady. Yeah, I saw. Oh, she was in my first department. I'm sorry. Yeah, but yeah. So I saw maybe three people in a dream. They were my coworkers from back then. Yeah, so I worked in total two departments. the correspondence, and then the latter one was the legal department with the man woman. But yeah, I didn't see any of the lawyers, but the women there. At least three of the people there. My boss, she was the first one I saw. I was walked in the office. Hey, how you doing? And she was just sitting in a chair. Her desk wasn't there. And the ladies, and I remember there was papers and things, and I was going through the papers getting to do research. I couldn't believe it, and I was genuinely happy to see the women. And I think why I also shared this dream is that, see, life happens. And maybe at the time it might have been painful. Was it right for the ladies to transfer me out because a man said hello to me? And no, I wasn't flirting. I was afraid of people. I was very shy around. You know, I wasn't like out there. you know, I was very timid, and but women they don't like women don't like when another woman is getting attention, and I didn't want attention back then, but it happened. But I was genuinely happy to see them. I said, hey, how you doing? And I was just small talk. And I remember going through, it was like a table with these papers and things. And it was like an office, a typical rundown city agency job. Yeah, and that's where I was this morning in the dream. Oh, boy, it really made me feel. I was genuinely happy. Boy, I don't remember the names of the other two ladies that I saw. But what I felt though, see, I'm wondering whether this has ever happened to you. Um, I get dreams on occasion, and they're not real people. And I believe what happens, like the different dimensions of dreaming. You can dream of people that look like the actual person that you know, but then there are dreams that you have, I think, beings, and I say it like that, beings that know how to make themselves look like a person that you know. That the room that you're in is not like the actual room. They put hints of things that you remember, composites of the room or composites of the person. That's what today's dream was. It wasn't the actual place, but it was reminiscent of my that first job that I had, working for the city of New York. Yeah, it gave me a beautiful feeling. I was truly happy. And I'm wondering, people, because I learned now that that boss I had died just a couple of years ago, maybe 4 years ago, 4 or 5 years ago. Yeah. Um, and I'm wondering the other two people. I wonder are they still alive also? But yeah, they will all be in their. She would be in her 90s, and the other would be uh, 80s. Yeah, easily late 70s to 80s. Yeah, more power to you. While we still have the breath of life in us, sometimes we have as young people when we get older, you know, life is a process, and you may have had the most wicked boss, um, but it's not really real. It's just I want to view it as like a movie. It's not real. You're all playing a part, and some of us play good people. Some of us play bad people, but it's all part of the show. And sometimes we have to release the things that hurt us. Yeah, yeah. I used to dream about that company, or parts of it. The um, coming in through the back way of the building, and so you don't, let's say you got late from lunch. It is what it is. You know, um, but that's how it was, and I worked with a whole, all types of people. This was down to earth people. These were mostly American blacks. You had whites that were in management and supervisory positions. These are people, these weren't rich people. They work there for the city. They're not rich. And people got jobs because you get your friend in. That's how it worked. You get a friend in, and that's how it was. And I got in because a family friend's niece had was in a hiring position, and she got me in. Uh, so the demographics of New York City has changed now. Black Americans are few, and I don't know where they are. They're like gone. The only blacks I see here, see, I don't work. I'm retired now. Uh, yeah, I retired myself. Yeah, so I'm not in the 9 to 5 rat race anymore, and so, but again, in New York City, most of the black people work for the city. So they're in these big buildings you see here, downtown or in Brooklyn. But all these new high rise, I mean, maybe things are changing. I was walking, I went outside briefly yesterday for like an hour, and I walked in this new business area that they're developing. It's absolutely cute, really, really nice. The buildings are just brand new. They let's see, they opened officially in 2018 or 2019, maybe it's 2019, 2018 or 2019, February. The Hudson Yards. Yeah, they're still doing construction. It's almost they got most of it. They have a shopping mall, big shopping mall. This thing called the um, oh, what do you call it? The not the capsule. I forget the name, but it means like it's the vessel. Yeah, it's made out of copper. It's a copper structure, and it's a tourist attraction. Yeah, they're rebuilding certain areas of Manhattan. It's really nice, very polished. Um, but there's the north part of, or I'm sorry, not north, the west part of the Hudson Yards is the next thing that they're going to develop. Yeah, they're going to build a school. So that, they're finishing up the main, business part. But yeah, this is a place. It's going to mostly East Asians that are getting into the apartments here. Yeah, it's a whole like new. It's like a new neighborhood. It was underdeveloped for many many years, and it's where the train trestles are. Those trains are in storage, and they're developing it, and they have an area where you can do a walkabout. It's called what do you call it? The walk or the path. It's like a path, and no bicycles, no pets. Yeah, it's just supposed to be a place where you can just walk. Oh, of course, you can have a carriage. I can have my little dogs. Yeah, this is one of them. Yeah, I can have my little dog in their stroller or something like that. That you can do. But no bicycles. And it's just a place where you can walk. It's like a C shape, a big C shape pathway. And you can walk from one area to another. Maybe I'll do that today. It might rain today again. It was raining earlier. But yeah, they're developing the place called the Yards, and the maybe 90% of it is all complete, you know. And I was told with it, every Wednesday. Oh, is today when? Oh, today's Wednesday. Okay, all right. Every Wednesday at the Yard, they're going to have concerts. Oh, it just came to my memory. See, I'm so glad of my new phone. My not phone, um, my clock. Oh, you can hardly see it. Oh, you can't see it. It's too dark. Sorry. Yeah, it's a lit phone, but because the light of the window is blinding to see the time and everything. But yeah, it's a Wednesday. It's 6:56 a.m. June 28th, 2023. Yeah, so yeah, today's Wednesday. And last Wednesday I went out with my little furry friends. And yeah, I see myself changing. I'm not getting up as early anymore. Yeah, it was starting to get, I felt endangered. I would leave really early to get to this other park. And I thought I was being, uh, sometimes when you have someone who wants to rob you or something, they kind of scope you and then they ask you a stupid question because they want to get in your business or to do something. And I was yeah, I didn't trust him. It was like a homeless guy. Had his bags and everything, and I saw him as I was walking past with my dogs, and I was nervous. And then he said, "Oh, do you know where the such and such is?" Why would you ask? You know damn well where it is. And I just said very harshly, I don't know. Well, but I shouldn't have said anything. And when I walked past, I said to myself, my God, I shouldn't have said anything. I feel that he's trying to size me up. I was scared. And there's this person yeah, it was really weird. I just started to feel uncomfortable. Yeah, and then when I would leave, there was this person hiding. Well, there's a part where I live that when you leave the main door, it has a blind spot, and that blind spot, people hide. And it was just almost 2 years ago, someone was hiding to the place right next to me, the other building, and he was hiding behind the fence. And then as I approach, he leaps over the fence. The fence is about 6 feet tall, and he's also over 6 feet, and he just leaped over. And then he started to approach me. I was scared, and luckily, I didn't know at the time that my concierge, a really sweet man, he's an angel to me, and he usually was on a different shift, like he worked the main shift, but that particular day he was working graveyard shift. He was covering for somebody, so he was to do 2 shifts that day. And earlier that month, that incident happened I'm sorry, in August of 2021. And I did not know at the time that my friend, buddy, for the concierge, he would open the door for me, and he wait to see wait and see me off, and he watched me go. Luckily, he did that day. Again, he wasn't scheduled to work at that time, people. And that man came to attack me. I was hiding behind the fence. And as he came near me, I started walking backwards towards the door that just came. And I turned my head a little bit behind me to make sure I was at the right position of the door. And then the concierge steps out and stood up right beside me. And we both stood our ground, and he went away. But he hid behind the wall initially. It was a blind spot. And then, because I said, oh my God. He said, I saw everything what happened to you. I saw everything. He says, I watch you when you leave. I said, you do? I said, I didn't know that. He said, yeah, when you leave every morning, I watch you to make sure you're safe. That was the nicest thing. See, in life, we have our parts that we play. And some of us have angels. They're like our guardian angel. And I was so grateful. Anything could have happened. And it was like at 6:10 in the morning. It was dark outside still. It was 6:10 in the morning, and it was drizzling. So it was darker than usual because it was drizzling. Yeah. So just before I exited the door, uh, I saw that it was drizzling. I said, "Oh shoot, maybe I should go inside." And I said, "Ah, now I'll go for it." And I had my stroller, my dog's with me, and I maybe stepped maybe 5 steps, and then boom, he jumps over the fence. It was a gate. I'm sorry, I said fence. I meant to say gate. Yeah. Luckily, he was there watching. He had the door open. I thought he had closed it because when I turned my head, I saw his arm, my concierge arm, with his hand, and him pushing open the door. And that's when he stepped out. He said, "No," he said, "I never closed it." No, he said, "I was watching you the whole time. I saw everything what happened." I said, "Really?" He says, "Yeah, I watch you when you leave every morning." And I told him, "Thank you." Yeah. And again, he was filling in on with somebody, filling in on somebody. Um, he wasn't scheduled to work that shift. And the person who was working that shift earlier that month was not at his spot. The desk was unmanned. And that happened 3 times that month. If it would have happened on any of those days, I would have been cooked. People, take your job seriously because you may be saving somebody's life. Take it whether you're a doorman, concierge, anything. Your presence could save someone's life. He saved my life. Yeah, this man that did this, I've seen him before in the neighborhood. Yeah, he's a homeless drug addict type. Yeah, really weird looking. Yeah, he's real tall too. And he came out. Yeah, I don't see him anymore. Thank God. Thank God. I mean, I don't wish harm on people, but you have predators out there. You have people who play the part of a predator, who want to hurt anything. So I'm deeply grateful for that. My concierge. Yeah, he's been in this building now. He started. Oh, I forget what month he started. I moved in this building in 2003. He started 2002. Day one when this building opened. Yeah, this building opened in 2002. Late 2002, I think it was. Yeah. They had wanted me to move in December or January. I said, no, no, could you, no, it was January. I said, no, if you could push it at a later date. So, okay, March. I said, perfect. Yeah, so it was 3/3/3 that I moved in. March 3rd, 2023. I mean, I'm sorry, 2003. 2003, what a special year. Yeah, we had a blackout back then, a major blackout, major blackout. It oh I if any of you know what day in Manhattan it was I think all of the East Coast in the United States was a blackout. It was a rolling blackout. It was in the summer. That's what I remember. It was in the summer. It could have been August. August is the hottest day of the year, and a lot of Jews, a lot of people have their stuff on. Uh, air conditioners on. So it must have been. I think it must have been in August. But any of you who know, you can check out and write in the comment section when that big blackout in 2003 was. Yeah. Um, I think I had the day off. It might have been on a Friday then. Yeah, I had Friday and Saturday off. Yeah. Oh, have a blessed day. Enjoy your talking, but thank you so much. Thank you. That's really sweet of you. Yeah, yeah. Thank you so much. I appreciate you, Ron. Thank you. Yeah, I do these videos. I don't have a big channel, but see, I do these videos because again, I used to be afraid to talk. I was afraid of people, and YouTube gave me that outlet to express myself. And as I get older, I love to hear just talk. I love to hear people talk and just share their their heart, their concerns, their fears, their joys. That's me. That's me. And sometimes I'm a little controversial, but this is all, again, my spiritual journey. And you never know whose heart you touch. Yeah, so yeah, this is New York City, and I love this city, and I enjoy I enjoy a lot of things of it. And yes, we're going through growing pains right now. And here, I had that dream about my first coworkers, 43 years ago, people. And I was truly happy to see the ones that I saw in the dream. But as I was mentioning, they weren't the real. I don't think they were the lady, the lady boss, the my last manager. Yeah, she was frightening. Yeah, but that's because God is good. Yeah. And yeah, that she it wasn't the real her. I don't think it was her. It was I think I'm gonna say I think it was the were demons. They're entities that uh, can inhabit your dream world. They know how to they know some things about you, and they could disguise. Oh, right. You lived in New York for 17 years. Good for you. Yeah, I've been back. New York City. I came back. I used to. I briefly lived in Maui, Maui, Hawaii, um, for almost 3 years. Polo grew. I don't know. I don't know what that word means. Oh, I don't know what that word means. If you could, yeah, yeah, please teach me. What does that word mean? Polo grew, polo grounds. Oh, I don't know what that word means. Polo. I don't know what that means. Is that a sport? See, I don't know a lot of stuff. But yeah, I share these things because see, we need to communicate with each other. And right now, it's like the easiest way to communicate now is through our devices, the internet. But we still need each other, and I still need you. Yes, I am a loner, but I do enjoy conversation with people, and that's why I do these videos. Yes, they're long, but it's you listen to what you want to listen to. It's like a smorgasbord. It's like a smorgasbord. You sample what you want to sample, and then you go. It's all good. It's all good. You know. So, but I share these things because see, I know I'm not alone, and this is also history. I'm sharing you history because see, everybody's getting older. We're all getting older, and now it's the new generation. It is the new generation of people, and then they're going to put their mark. But I want to leave my mark. I'm leaving my mark of the old school New York City people, what things was like back in the day. We had excellent pizza. Oh, the pizza was awesome. We had real pizza with real cheese on it, real cheese, and the food was better. Personally, now people are slacking. People are slacking. And it gets me angry because the new people here, some of the new people, they take it for granted. I said, people, it's passing the baton. What I'm doing here is passing the baton. It's okay to get new people, get some flavor in New York City. Nothing wrong with that. We all love flavors in New York City. It's passing the baton. You pass on the best, what you have, onto the next generation and let them carry it forward to the next generation. That's what New York City, that's what this planet is all about. That's what it's all about. And so I'm mentioning about what work was like. It was hard. Things were horrible. You really didn't have. Oh yeah, it was Ray's Pizza. Juan, yes, it was Ray's. Oh my God, Ray's Pizza. Oh man, that was the place. Yes, there was more than one Ray's. Hold on. tell me. Um, there were two. There was one on West Fourth Street, and then there was another one on I think 14th Street. Which one was the better? I think it was it the one on 14th Street on 6th Avenue? Was that the real one? You know, the one on West 4th Street, just a couple of blocks south. That was good, but I think see, I went out on a date. I mean, this coworker brought me there, you know, and the pizza was giant. Remember, the one slice was almost the size of two pizzas and had tons and tons of cheese. Oh, Juan, you got to remember. Which one was it? I think it was the 14th Street one. 14th on 6th Avenue. Awesome, awesome. And the one on West 4th, that was good too. But one of them gave the fork and knives. They gave you fork and knives to eat the pizza because it was so big and the cheese was awesome. Yeah. Oh, I missed that. Yeah, I'm very reminiscent. I am. I love it. I'm always reminiscent. Yeah, this is Reminiscent Wednesday, New York City. Yeah, it's cloudy. I think it was raining a little bit. Oh, oh, one is 150, 152 and 3rd Avenue. Okay. Yeah, I'm watching, let's see. Okay, Juan is explaining Polo Grounds. Says, okay, Juan says, I live in Polo Grounds Towers, 155 at 8 a.m. I'm not sure what that means. I don't know 155. I know. And then you say, I lived in Polo Grounds, 155. Maybe me 155th Street. Okay, 17 years ago, Harlem, New York. Okay, nice. Welcome, welcome, family. Yeah. Oh wow. Oh wow. 150. Uh-oh. I'm sorry, I hope my battery isn't going down. Okay, it looks like I'm back on. Okay, Juan says, I went to junior high school 43. Enjoy your Richmond right next to Hunter. Yeah, oh wow. Yeah, I went to Hunter College. Yeah, I went to Hunter College. That was my first college. Yeah, I was to go to Newport. I got it. My father helped me get into Hunter. Yeah, yeah, 8th Avenue. Yeah, I wanted to get to Newport. I was told it's the party school. I didn't choose the school because of party school. They had a great, they had a science department. I liked science. Everything was new. Everything was new. And they had an art department. I love art. They had silversmithing, goldsmithing, ceramics. Oh yeah, that school had everything. And I wanted to go there. But my father said, no, I was to go to York College in Queens, and I didn't want to go there. It's in a very poor area in Queens, and I didn't want to go there. And my father worked it out. Yes, my father worked in the school system, and he called his friends and he got me into Hunter College. Yeah, Hunter was in Manhattan, one of the top schools, one of the top city schools. Oh yeah, Hunter was a good college. It was known for it used to be a women's college. So if you were a lady back in the day, a lady coming from a rich background, it's in a very affluent neighborhood in the city. Oh yeah, it was very affluent. And if you were a lady of means, and if your daughter had, wanted an education, you send her to Hunter College. It's known for its teaching, a teaching school, and it also does nursing. Yeah, that was the school for ladies. I went in 1980, and that's what I think the first year went co-ed. Yeah, it was an all-girls school, all-girls college, city college. You know, it was it's part of the city, the Cooney School, City University of New York. Yeah, Hunter. It was fat. It was a fabulous school when I went in. Yeah, so I wanted to go away. My father said no, and so I didn't want to go to York College, which was in a real ghetto area in Queens, and he got me into Hunter. And next thing I'm glad I'm saying these things. See, I didn't get I had desires and things, but there were people who helped me along the way, and so I just want to give recognition. My father passed away 14 years ago, so I want to thank you, Dad. I want to thank you for those things. We didn't get along, but I want to just recognize you today and thank you for the things you helped me with. You helped me. Yeah, you got me to Hunter. And when I was to go to high school, you got me into the high school of my choice. Yeah, but I was designated to go to um, Andrew Jackson High School. One of the most, it was the place where all the street people went to. It was a ghetto school. It was a beautiful building, but it was in a ghetto. All the street kids went there. And I had a bad experience in junior high school and elementary school, all the street kids. And I wanted to go to school where my so-called friends of that time were going. They were going to Jamaica High School. And I said to my father, I was in the living room. This was in 1976. I said, if I have to go to that school, I'm not going to go to school. All my friends are going to Jamaica High School. And I guess he made it happen. Next thing I know, okay, you have to report to Jamaica High School. Yeah, my father had his connections, and so I just want to publicly recognize the good things he did do for me. He got me into Hunter. I should, in hindsight, I should have, it was a good school. It was a neighborhood school. All the kids in New York City went there. There was a friendly school. They were friendly. Yeah, people from I was from Queens, and I met people from Staten Island. Oh yeah, people from the Bronx. Oh yeah, you had some wonderful people back then, all local people. Yeah, wanted to. I remember some French people from France, white girls from France that were there. But it was a local school with local people, and things changed. Yeah, so I was there for 2 years, and at that job, working for the city of New York. I was there for 2 years, and I just wanted the fantasy of. Cause see, my heart's desire was to go away for school. Yeah, some of my friends went away to school, and I just wanted, back in those days, you had a lot of movies regarding, kids in college, and I wanted to know what the college campus life was, and so 2 years under my belt, I said, I'm going away for school. I'm going to Newport. And I gave myself a little party, as I mentioned earlier in the dream, in the this live stream. Yeah, when I gave myself a little party, yeah, for my job, and that's when my boss uh, did what she said, did what she did, and to she set me up, and she was priding, poking me to say a bad word. And she knew by antagonizing me that I would eventually say something. And yes, just to get her off my back, I did say the word, the B word. And, but, things happen for a reason. And like everything, sometimes people, um, the answer might be no. You might want to do X, Y, and Z, and you're a young 17 or 18-year-old graduate from high school, and you want to do so many things. And sometimes your parents really do know, hey, you're not ready to go out. You're not ready to do that yet. But 1 or 2 years, yes, you can. Yeah, my father didn't stop me after 2 years. Um, I wonder what he would have said after one semester at the school. It would have been interesting, but I was new, and I knew how to get a student loan. Yeah, I paid for my own college. Back in the day, I took a student loan. One thing I can say, what I learned in this experience: don't take out a student loan. Don't do it, please. Don't do that. Do not take out a student loan because it puts you in bondage. What is bondage? But slavery. Don't do it. Buy, pay as you go. But you may find out you don't want to do this. College really wasn't for me. College was just a buffer time of finding out what I wanted to do as an adult. Yeah, don't do it, people. So, so sometimes though, you have parents or situations, and they're really to protect you. I really was better off staying at Hunter College and getting a 4 year degrees and then getting a job. But it disrupted a lot of things. I lasted one semester at that new college at Newport. Yeah, some things weren't nice at the school. Oh yeah, I got an exposure. Um, Dealt with jealous women, um, heartache. But it shared with me human nature, and yes, something, going away to school on a nice campus, it doesn't translate into quality people. People are people. Whether you go to school in a fancy area or a modest neighborhood, people are people, and hopefully you're able to find your match. Where you fit in. And maybe it's just a life journey. You may never find your actual place, but think of it as a, what do you call it? A journey. And I think after finding out that my very problematic boss, from 43 years ago, um, yeah, I found out she passed away just a couple of years ago. She was actually older than my mother. Um, but the dream that I had with her, it was, I was happy to, I was genuinely happy to see her. And that was significant to me because let the pain go. You were a teenager, and she was who she was. But it's a journey, and it was just a chapter, one of many chapters. And so I want to thank humanity. I want to thank that boss. Yeah, I can at least give her first name. Her first name was Bella. Yeah, Bella means pretty, and she wasn't that. But either way, Bella, wherever you are in this multiverse, thank you for being my boss and sharing, you were a trip. I thank you. And I thank my father who also passed away. I thank you for the things that you gave me. Yeah, you gave me opportunity to go to Hunter College, which was really a fabulous school in its day. I don't like it now. Now it's horrible. I didn't like it. Yeah, I did years later. 20 years ago, I went back to Hunter College to finish my degree. Yeah, I floated around, and I went to, yeah, I said to myself, I want to start all over again. I said, look, I'm really sorry how life happened, but it was a learning experience. I said, I have an opportunity to go back to school. Yeah, there was that movie, Go Back to School. It's called, with Roger Dangerfield. Go watch that movie. It's a cute little movie. Yeah, it came out in 1987, I think, 87 or 86. Yeah, I worked at in a beauty salon, and I did the nails. It was in the Plaza Hotel in New York City. The where the people in the movie where they stayed before the premiere. At the premiere, they stayed at the Plaza Hotel. It was one of the leading hotels in New York City, and that's where they stayed. And I did the manicure of one of the ladies. She was one of the ladies that was in the jacuzzi with the Roger Dangerfield. Yeah, she was a very nice young lady, very nice. She's like maybe in her 20s. I was in my 30s. Very nice human being, and we talked. We talked, and um, oh, well, I forget the point I was mentioning there about but going back to school. Yeah, he did the movie Back to School, and yeah, it's a cute little movie. What college life was like, and yeah, uh, you learn a lot about people, and you learn a lot about yourself. Yeah, this is a learning field for everybody, and you're gonna come across people, and one day you'll have a dream about them, whether it was what dimension these people were in. Yeah, because I get dreams, and some of you have dreams with. I'm pretty sure it's not the actual people, but people that represent those people that you knew. And but I was genuinely happy, and I was working. Oh my God, It was like I was back at day one, and I was doing my an assignment there, and I was. Uh, it's like I knew where everything was, and it was like old, like we were old friends. It was amazing. It was simply amazing. None of them said anything to me, but I was like talking and chatting, and uh, I don't remember what the paper said, but I took out a piece of paper. I was reading something on paper and trying to get the information. My job was to data retrieval, doing research for processing for payment, and that's what I did. And the dream, it I was like I was there working. It was amazing. It was simply amazing, people. Yeah, this is New York City, and things are changing very rapidly. But yes, I'm very reminiscent, and you too may be having dreams about people from your far past, and some things we gotta let go. And I'm glad that this dream I had, I let go. And I was working with these people, happy to see even my boss, my horror boss. Yeah, yeah, I think it was actually a man, but dressed as a woman. But she was my boss. And wherever she is, she did pass away just a couple of years ago. Yeah, she lived a long life, man. She's buried in New Jersey. May she be resting in peace. Again, I'll only give her first name. Her first name was Bella. Bella, wherever we are, you were a trip. But peace, love, and joy to you and your loved ones. You were a human being. Yes, and the other ladies I worked for, thank you so much for the opportunity that I had working for you. Yes, what a journey it was. What a journey. So you two have a journey out there. It is 7:30 in the morning, and I want to get my day going on. It might be raining again today. Yes, I got drizzled on yesterday, but I want to go out and have some more journeys today with my babies here. My little doggies. Yeah, I just feel very strongly in my heart, people. Um, Things are happening rapidly, and just embrace what you have. Embrace it. Embrace it to the fullest, because one day it's all going to go. But at least give your thanks what you do have. Do the best you can, okay? This is a learning journey for all of us. Peace, love, and joy. Peace, love, and joy to all of you. Until next time soon, and if you like this content, you from New York City, and on occasion like to hear things, what it was like for you in New York City, for someone like yourself growing up, let me know. Tell me what you think in the comment section or in the live chat. And if you want to support this channel, um, you could go to my PayPal me, to do so. Just enter my channel, Spirit Journey, and on the top right of the banner of my channel, you'll see my PayPal me link. Just click on the link, follow the prompt, and any amount would be greatly appreciated. And I'm telling you thank you in advance. Peace, love, joy, and blessings be unto you. Until next time soon, I hope. Take care. Have a blessed day. Happy Hump Week. Thank you, Wednesday. Bye bye.